I don't think I need to introduce myself. If you don't know who I am, you can leave. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, today is not about me. Today is about this amazing community that we've built. So I'm just going to come on and do a little bit of housekeeping.
What Austin is famous for, and there's 3 things. So number 1, cowboys, obviously. The second is live music, and the third is comedy.
These panelists are founders, leaders. They've built and grown companies. They've helped merchants grow their businesses, and so there's a lot of rich experience to mine here. One of the things that I believe is that running a business and growing it is more like a History Channel than a Hallmark Channel, right?
Well, long story short, we went from getting 80 leads organically per month to literally 0 in about 3 months, and $15,000 later, we were in a lagging period of that loss of inquiries. So that was very, very, very painful. But I turned that into a positive because essentially I learned what this SMM agency did and was able to kind of now create my own new strategy for outbound marketing as well. And so we've actually picked that up to around 120 leads per month, and I'm now going to be hiring a salesperson.
Yeah, and also the biggest learning for me was once you have a process in place, once you have your own identity in place, trust yourself. Don't go and try to change yourself. And this will also help you be much more confident in if it's a fit, yes or no, just like you said. And if you follow the process, if you do what you normally always want to do, then you know that you will deliver. But if there's a client that already says, yeah, but I don't want this, this, and this to be done, that should already be enough for you to say, okay, I actually don't want to work with you because either we do it my way or it's the highway.
Yeah, I think that what drives that appetite for deals that are sometimes not a good fit are 2 things, right? Filling a gap in payroll and expansion of services, unintentional or intentional. And I think the gap in payroll really emphasizes and underscores the need to be fiscally sound, right? Like there's a saying I heard once, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is reality, right? And if you run your business responsibly, that will help you maybe be a little less prone to taking a swing at something just because you're trying to fill payroll.
If I could go back in the past and tell myself, what is the learning from this? Set better expectations and set better precedents, because you're only going to do a favor to your team, you're going to do a favor to your mental sanity, and your client's going to know what to expect. So they're, when they kind of go out of bounds, you're going to be able to rein them in a little bit. So yeah, trying to find a way to please them, keep that money, keep that payroll going, but also not at the cost of your sanity and peace of mind.
Maybe like one add-on, because I think you also mentioned it in your workshop that like case studies are not just about like the logo nowadays, I would say, because I see more and more that the potential clients want to call with the case studies like the brands to really talk about like what did we really do, not just like, oh, hey, we work together with, I don't know, Mercedes or so, and then they say, wow, cool, let's work together. It's more like they really want to know what happened and want to hear it from the client and not you.
As a non-founder on the stage, but someone who's been a second in command, which was mentioned in Rachel's newsletter a week or 2 ago, I think you've seen a number of fuck-ups either on your behalf and how to work with founders or on founders' behalves and not empowering teams, et cetera. So what can you share there?
Actually, quite a lot, to be honest, because over the years, I've worked for several companies, not just with Droxic. But especially with one company where I came in as a business development manager and then soon sort of became the second guy in command. And we started off with, I was employee number 11. And over the course of the next 2-3 years, we grew to 50 people. But that grow also meant that we had to change everything that we did, all our processes, our approach, how we communicate, everything. And that actually went very well as long as the founder was not involved. Because everything that, that we did, he loved it. It was like, great, best, we're doing so much better. And then for instance, we would explain the project managers, listen, we want to work slightly different, we're growing, so we need to communicate, we need to make different types of reports. And then he would just walk by and he would say like, what are you doing? And they said, yeah, we have to work, we have to do our reporting different, we work like this because we're doing a much better way of time tracking. And he would look at it and said, no, you don't need it, I don't think it's needed. And then you go in and you say, listen, yeah, it is actually needed. Please do it like this. And then two weeks later, it's again like, no, you don't need it. And they can say it once, twice, 3 times, and you can sort of overrule them. But at one point, they were just fucking it up by doing this, or somebody could not go on a vacation leave, for instance, because we really had to deliver a project. It was clear, from the beginning. Normally, we're very flexible, but this had to be done. And he was really, really important for the delivery on time. And he just goes like, no, don't need to. And the reason is because his ego got actually in the way of making the company grow. He wanted to be in total control. Yes, he was delegating the work, but in the background, he was still micromanaging everything that we were doing. And, yes, he was saying, like, yeah, you have the full range, you can do what you want. But then 2-3 weeks later, I saw the changes that you did. Let's not do that. We'll go back to the old days because that always worked for us. And we were like, yeah, that works for a company when we were 12. Now we are, let's say, with 40. We just need to have a different approach. No, it will work just like that. And actually, after we left, within 2-3 years later, he was back to 6 people.
Anything you want to leave the audience with as we wrap up?
Like for me, one pretty basic tip was just to turn off like all notifications, because like otherwise you get an email or you get a phone call and then you're like, oh damn, I need to act. Like as a founder, like you do it on the weekend, in the evening, in the night, and since I turn it off,